What is going on, my mates? Hope everyone has been well. So I wanted to take a quick break from the current format and just do a fun little vid where I recommend some bands and artists to you. I really tried to make this list diverse in terms of genre as well as popularity, so if you came here looking for new music, you should be able to find at least a couple new things to listen to. Also, there will be a Spotify playlist linked below with a song from each artist that I discuss in the order I address them in this video. Sometimes people ask me about artists/bands from my hometown and want to know if there's anything cool going on here that they should be paying attention to. My go-to answer used to be, yeah, there's not a lot going on here, but now my answer is go listen to Junior Mesa. His music is everything you didn't know you were searching for. His mode of expression is best characterized as an eloquent blend of folk/singer-songwriter/indie pop. He's able to transport you to a tepid dreamland in which you feel at ease and let your guard down. The same sensation you get when you're at home in bed watching your favorite movies from the early 2000s. He just dropped his EP titled Peace, available now on all streaming platforms, and it's really good. Formerly known as Sioux Falls, Strange Ranger makes me feel nostalgic in all the right ways. They embody a charismatic indie sound paired with post-rock and post-punk to create a delightful, layered atmospheric experience for your ears to enjoy. The first track of their new LP gives me major Third Eye Blind vibes, which never makes me mad, and the following track, Sunday, sounds like a reworked version of Friday I'm in Love. Start with their most recent effort, and if you're feeling it, backtrack to Day Moon. Walter Mitty and his Makeshift Orchestra and Walter Etc. are the brainchildren of California folk punk legend Dustin Hayes. This man is prolific, to put it lightly, and has a talent for making it look like he doesn't care while putting in crazy amounts of effort. The music of Walter is goofy, carefree, and mostly kazoo heavy. If you want to chill, relax, and also be a little bit sad, but in a fun way, go listen to Walter. I actually discovered this band called the Dodos almost 10 years ago from this video called Go Longboard posted by Original Skateboards. If you like folk and indie pop with an inescapable sense of weirdness attached to it, the Dodos are the band for you. Specifically, go check out their song The Season, and if you're into it, go listen to their whole album called Visitor. And they're also on the same label as American Football, so now you gotta go check them out. Explosions in the Sky is the quintessential post-rock band. When someone mentions that genre, you'll likely hear someone drop their name. My uncle was actually the one that showed me this band, and I'm so thankful that he did. Their music is calm and relaxing, the perfect thing to put on when you have an essay to write or wish to read a book. Their music has no lyrics, and through simple yet expertly crafted songs, they're able to pull you in and hold your attention, bringing an energy to the room that makes you want to fall asleep and stay awake all at the same time. Brockhampton is a band that I've wanted to discuss on here for a really long time, but haven't because I thought my current viewers may not know who they are or even have any interest in them at all. However, after their latest record, Ginger, I feel like they're now more accessible than ever. A self-proclaimed boy band featuring an interesting cast of characters to say the least, Brockhampton makes music. And I say it that way because it's almost impossible to nail down their sound or pigeonhole them to one genre. I'd say their music is something like hip-hop, R&B, and pop, but some of the most interesting and experimental takes on those styles you'll ever hear. They've made some of my favorite music of all time, and I highly suggest that you go check them out, even if you think that you may not like them. I actually didn't get into this band until pretty recently, and I'm honestly sad that I waited so long before checking them out. But at the same time, I'm also kinda sad that I got into them because their album called Hospice is one of the most melancholic pieces of sound I've ever stuffed into my ears. You know how there are different kinds of sad, like sad that your girlfriend broke up with you, sad that a family member passed, sad that someone ate the last can of beans, you get the idea. The Antlers play a type of sadness that I can honestly say I've never witnessed or felt before. And even just trying to describe it to you right now feels like I'm detracting from it, so go check out Hospice for yourself. My friends Zach and Hunter actually put me onto this band at some point in 2013, most likely after the group released their breakout record Sunbather. For me, Deafheaven is one of the most rewarding bands to listen to. They experiment with many sounds, but mostly play black metal and shoegaze, sometimes intertwined with post-rock, which can be seen in some of their later work. Honestly, they're kind of an intimidating band at first because their style is so out there, so abrasive, and many of their songs are close to 10 minutes, if not more, but I promise you, if you just sit there and really commit yourself to fully immersing your ear holes in one of their songs, you'll be so glad you did. Nothing is really something. They were able to take bands that were popular in the late 80s and early 90s amongst groups like Ride, Slowdive, and My Bloody Valentine and put a modern twist on it while bringing new ideas to the table. Their material just overall feels heavier and more influenced by alternative rock and punk compared to any of those earlier acts I just mentioned, which gives them a distinct edge in the world of shoegaze/dream pop. My favorite of theirs is still their debut, Guilty of Everything, but I would encourage you to explore the entirety of their intense catalog catalog of noise. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume that most of you know who Matt Kerekes is, but if you don't, he's the frontman of American rock band Citizen, but he has been able to carve out a successful solo career for himself. His music has an oddly nostalgic quality to it, because I'm not sure what I'm nostalgic for, but that's the way I experience much of his work. While he is talented instrumentally, the centerpiece of his projects is his voice. He has a beautiful voice, beyond beautiful. And if you've never heard him sing, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be straight up. This band has and always will remind me of Weezer, but not in a bad way, in a good way, like the good Weezer stuff. Formed in West Virginia, Rozwell Kid plays some dang rock and roll. They squeeze together the best parts of punk and emo, toss out the pulp, and are left with something unexpectedly endearing. They've always struck me as a group that was never supposed to get big, or rather that was never really their aim. People just kind of found them, and that's such a pure feeling to have surrounding your band and its music. Go listen to their song UHF on DVD and tell me you didn't just fall in love with them. Fiddlehead is a project I've been excited about for a really long time now, and after the release of their debut LP in 2018, it's safe to say that I'm now more excited than ever. Featuring Alex Henry, guitarist of Basement, and Pat Flynn, former vocalist of Massachusetts hardcore band Have Heart, Fiddlehead plays a highly emotional mix of punk and post-hardcore. In Springtime and Blind, Pat explores grief, discussing the loss of his father and how it not only impacted him, but his mother as well. If you like Have Heart or Basement, give Fiddlehead a listen. Soul Search is a band that I actually forgot about until I began writing this video. They were never huge, but they had a pretty serious cult following throughout California, accompanied by a New York hardcore-inspired sound. Their stuff hits hard, fast, and is super catchy, which is exactly how I like my hardcore. If you're into bands like Expire or Rotting Out, make sure to check out Soul Search. According to their website, 99 Neighbors is a collective of independent artists with a common goal of natural expression, free artistry, and forward momentum. I hate to make the obvious comparisons and say that they remind me of Odd Future and Brockhampton, but that's honestly the first thing I thought of when I found them, thanks to my friend Alpha Media. However, 99 Neighbors are absolutely doing their own thing and carving their own lane. What really sets them apart in my eyes is that they're not only skilled at making fast, upbeat bangers, but they're equally skilled at making slower, catchy tracks that cut grooves into your brain. What happens when you take indie and emo rock and combine them with R&B? You get a really neat group called Bay Faction, essentially rhythm and blues emo. Everything sounds so gentle and fragile while aggressively tugging at your heartstrings. It's the type of music that you'd want to cry to on a rainy day while sitting in your car. Listen to their song Sopping from Florida Guilt. No matter what, Microwave will always be one of the most underrated bands in their space. For years now, they've been delivering nothing but the highest quality of sounds, but still don't have the hype I think they should have. What really makes them shine amongst their peers is that there's this stereotype that emo/pop punk vocalists aren't good singers, but Nathan Hardy isn't just a good singer, he's an exceptional one. Go check out their album Much Love, which came out in 2016, because it's just a freaking masterpiece, dude. Mineral is by far my favorite 90s emo band. As much as I love American football, it blows me away that Mineral isn't talked about as much. Their album End Serenading was released in 1998, and it crushed me the first time I heard it. The most beautiful thing about Mineral is the way their songs progress, especially in the penultimate track of the record, And Serenading. Everything starts off so soft and tender, but as things explode, we're rewarded with a crashing, twinkly anthem accompanied by angelic vocals. This album is pure, raw, unfiltered emotion. It wasn't until this year that I finally checked out the music of Denzel Curry thanks to a recommendation from a friend, and man, I've been missing out. The album he put out this summer, titled Zoo, is some of the most fun, catchy, and well-produced rap/hip-hop I've heard all year. I know I don't cover much rap on the channel, and I know some of you may not be the biggest fans of rap, but please consider checking this out regardless. I found out about Crumb through a recommended video on YouTube of all things. What really drew me into them were the visual effects they have on their music video for Lock It. The trippy visuals combined with Crumb's psychedelic indie pop sensibility creates a peculiar atmosphere that will keep calling your name. I really like to put them on when I'm tired late at night while editing a thumbnail in Photoshop or something. MewithoutYou is possibly one of the greatest bands ever. They put out their first LP in 2002 and have released nothing but masterpieces ever since. They play an array of sounds and are never afraid to experiment, but the thing that really puts them on another level for me is the vocals. Instead of singing, it's more like talking. Not exactly like spoken word, but that's the closest thing I have for comparison. Check out literally any of their work because it's all incredible, but their album from last year is breathtaking if you want to start with some of their more recent works. If you're looking for a band to melt your face off, look no further than the Chariot. They may not be together anymore, but their studio recordings and live performances are an incredible display of fast, abrasive music done right. Their final 2 albums are by far their best work, showing us their take on hardcore and metalcore while creating something entirely of their own. If you've ever seen this band live, you know the type of energy they bring, and it's like no other. At this point, I'm convinced that Jeff Rosenstock couldn't make bad music if he tried. All of his material with Bomb the Music Industry is phenomenal, and everything he's released under his own name has been magnificent. It's so rare for an artist to be as prolific as Jeff and maintain the level of quality that he somehow manages to take with him from album to album. It's been cool to see his career as a solo artist take off so quickly since 2015, and it's been an even bigger treat to see his progression from album to album. I'd recommend starting out with his album Worry and then listening to the balance of his catalog. My mates, thank you so much for watching this, and thank you for 25k. Over the next couple of years, I aim to expand the type of artists that I cover on here and shine a spotlight on artists who aren't getting enough attention while covering some mainstream stuff as well. I can't wait for what's to come, and I hope all you mates continue to stick around and we can grow together. Here's to 100k.